we are praying that will come.
Warning: God's holy name appears on the eastern wall of Jerusalem, beside the Golden Gate. A holy sign appears at the Golden Gate. Jerusalem is witnessing an unprecedented divine warning in these end times. A mysterious and majestic phenomenon has been reported on the eastern wall of Jerusalem. Right beside the Golden Gate, the very gate the Bible once called the Gate for the King of Glory. An inscription resembling the holy name of God seems to have appeared upon the ancient stones, leading many to believe it may be a divine sign warning humanity before the final prophecies unfold. Could it be that God is marking his sacred city to call people to repentance and prepare for his return? If this moment stirred something quiet in you, you can like and subscribe. In the next reflection, we'll return to this wall, not to explain it, but to notice what we may have missed the first time. Along the eastern edge of Jerusalem's old city stands a wall shaped by centuries of prayer, conflict, and quiet waiting. It is neither the tallest nor the most ornate, yet it carries a particular gravity. Embedded within its ancient stones is the Golden Gate, sealed, silent, facing the Mount of Olives. For generations, this place has drawn the gaze of believers, skeptics, pilgrims, and passers-by alike. It faces the dawn. It holds expectations. Over time, it has become a place where people pause, not always knowing why, but sensing that something unspoken lingers in the air. The Golden Gate has been sealed for centuries. Stone blocks fill its arches, placed there by Ottoman Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent in the 16th century to prevent the prophesied arrival of the Messiah. Grass grows where feet once passed through during festivals and triumphs. Birds nest where guards once stood vigil. Olive branches sway gently above, casting fleeting shadows on the stone. And yet, eyes return to it, not because it moves, but because it does not. Its stillness seems to speak, a mute testimony to promises yet unfulfilled. Ancient texts from multiple faiths have long marked this place with profound expectation. Jewish tradition speaks of a sealed eastern gate through which the Messiah will enter. Christian writings anticipate Christ's return from the Mount of Olives opposite. Islamic stories align it with final judgment. Rarely does a single location gather such converging hopes from three faiths. Recently, a quiet rumor has spread. The Holy Name of God, YHWH, the sacred tetragrammaton of Judaism, appears to have emerged on the eastern wall beside the Golden Gate. Photos and videos circulating online reveal weathered stone, lines formed by erosion over millennia, shadows cast at certain hours of dawn, patterns shaped slowly by wind, rain, and the patient hand of time. Some discern sacred Hebrew letters rising from the surface, the Yod, He, Vav, He, arranged in a formation that defies casual explanation. For them, the response is immediate, deeply personal. A chill down the spine, tears unbidden, a sudden awareness of the eternal breaking into the temporal. Others observe with restraint, uncertain of what they see or what to make of it, wondering if the human tendency to see familiar patterns in randomness might explain the phenomenon. In recent days, a subtle phenomenon has stirred the story further. One morning, as dawn light streamed directly from the Mount of Olives, a strange beam aligned precisely with the markings believed to be the holy name. Not brilliant, like a cinematic miracle, making no sound, just a gentle ray that lingered for 7 minutes, then faded as the sun rose higher. Those present described their hearts growing still, as if hearing a wordless call from ancient stone. A local tour guide, Miriam Levy, recounted, "I've walked this wall 1,000 times. That morning, the light touched the stone like a finger pointing. I didn't speak. I couldn't." Another visitor, a young American pilgrim named David Chen, posted a video. The shadow of a single olive branch from the mount framed the letters perfectly. It felt deliberate. Perhaps the first invitation of this moment is not to judge, but to slow down, to let the weight of the place settle before rushing to conclusion. Jerusalem is a place where meaning gathers easily, almost magnetically. Here, stones are never merely stones. Each block in the Eastern Wall carries layered histories. Herodian stones from the Second Temple era sit beside Crusader repairs, Ottoman reinforcements, and modern restorations after earthquakes. They hold memories of triumph and tragedy. Pompey's siege in 63 BC, Titus's destruction in 70 AD, Saladin's reconquest in 1187, the Six-Day War in 1967. They absorb prayers spoken aloud during harvest festivals and whispered in the dead of night by those seeking solace. They have known the joy of celebrations, the grief of funerals, the hope of new beginnings, and the disappointment of broken pieces passing in endless waves. The Eastern Wall, in particular, is no neutral ground. It faces the rising sun, symbol of renewal in every tradition. It gazes toward the Mount of Olives, where sacred writings speak of divine return, resurrection of the dead, and God's nearness to humanity. From its slopes, prophets wept over the city's fate. From there, figures ascended to heaven. When people look at this wall, their gaze carries ancient stories, memory, and longing. Centuries of prayers for deliverance etched into their souls. In such a place, it is no wonder that signs appear. The human soul, wired for the transcendent, finds voice in stone and shadow. Those who believe they see the holy name speak softly, almost reverently. There is no triumph in their voices, no demand that others must see what they see. They describe something subtle, letters suggested by cracks and contours, meaning shaped not by sudden miracle, but by patient time, as if the divine had waited millennia to whisper through erosion itself. It feels less like a proclamation thundering from heaven, more like a whisper, gentle, restrained, almost hesitant to be named, respecting the mystery it evokes. Others call for caution, and that voice matters too. We are meaning-making creatures, especially in sacred spaces, where expectation primes perception. Psychologists note our tendency to perceive meaningful connections in random data. History offers sober reminders, mysterious images, weeping statues, solar phenomena, all once proclaimed as certain, later inviting nuance and humility. Faith has never rested solely on what eyes confirm. It dwells in the tension between sight and trust. Between belief and restraint lies a deeper invitation to listen more closely, to let both wonder and wisdom breathe. Rather than asking whether these markings are truly God's holy name, a question that risks reducing the divine to forensic debate, we might ask, why does this story resonate in so many hearts at this precise moment in history? Why, amid global fractures, does a whisper from Jerusalem's stone touch nerves raw with uncertainty? We live in unsettled times. Wars rage without end. Institutions falter. Truth splinters into echo chambers. Fear-driven religious language shouts urgency from every platform. Dates predicted, disasters foretold, apocalypses packaged for clicks. Certainty has become currency. In such chaos, people turn back to Jerusalem not for clear answers etched in neon, but because it reminds us that God remains involved in human history, weaving through its messiness rather than bypassing it. There, faith has always been tested by time, refined in waiting, not spared by spectacle. The thought that God's holy name might appear on the eastern wall speaks not only of an outward sign, but of an inner longing, the hope that God has not withdrawn into indifferent silence, that He still sees our hidden tears, still waits with patient mercy at humanity's threshold, not rushing to judge, not forcing compliance. Simply there, Emmanuel, God with us, even in the cracks of ancient stone. The Golden Gate deepens this symbolism profoundly. Sealed for centuries by human hands, fearing divine intrusion, it stands as a paradox closed, yet endlessly watched by three faiths. Sacred texts describe the Messiah passing through. Hymns sing of the King of Glory entering. Prophetic traditions anticipate eschatological opening. A holy name beside a sealed gate sounds less like an alarm-blaring judgment, more like an invitation to patience, a reminder that some doors yield only to heaven's key in heaven's hour. These days, visitors linger longer by the eastern wall, drawn by an unseen gravity. Not everyone takes photos for social proof. Some stand silently, foreheads pressed to stone in wordless communion. Others touch the markings lightly, as if afraid to disturb what might be sacred. A few sit nearby on worn benches, eyes closed in prayer, breathing with the rhythm of the city's ancient pulse. Few claim certainty, but many describe a lightness descending, a slowing of frantic thought, a heaviness lifting, a holy stillness spreading as if invited to remain in sacred quiet. Local residents respond with calm familiarity born of intimacy. For them, the wall has long been holy ground, with or without new interpretations. Rivka Cohen, a lifelong Jerusalemite selling spices nearby, shrugs. We've seen lights, shadows, visions come and go. CNN arrives, then leaves. What remains is sweeping the stones each dawn, lighting Shabbat candles, living kindly amid the weight. They have weathered Jerusalem's seasons of global attention. What endures is the daily call to faithfulness in a city bearing too much certainty, too much pain, too much beauty. Scholars offer measured perspective without dismissal. Archaeologist Dr. Eilat Mazar notes the wall's composite nature. Herodian base layers from 20 BC, Byzantine repairs from the 6th century, Islamic reinforcements. Each stone weathers uniquely. Seismic shifts from 1927 and 1834 created microfractures. Light angles shift with solstice's dawn on December 21, casts long eastern shadows. This geological literacy neither diminishes spiritual encounter nor forces faith and history to compete. It allows them to coexist, each illuminating the other. Online, the story spreads like dawn light itself. Hebrew scholars debate letter formation on forums. Photogrammetry experts analyze 3D scans. Skeptics invoke Rorschach tests. Believers share pilgrim testimonies. Amid bold claims and curt dismissal,